So Bhagavan said, chanting the name is prayer. When I asked for samadhi, this is what he said. Chanting the name is prayer, Devaki. Chanting the name is surrender, Devaki. Chanting the name is samadhi, he said. I wanted samadhi. He's starting from prayer. Meaning that you are in the beginning state. So first you approach me through prayer and nama chanting. And slowly it will deepen. And it will land you in surrender. And after surrender, complete surrender comes, then samadhi is not far off. So we have to go ahead. Whether we have faith in it or not, whether we have devotion or not, whether we have concentration or not, we have to keep on chanting the name because our Guru Mahatma has said it. It has all the power, I tell you. A student who follows the Guru's word, a Guru Mahatma's word, the divine power will help him all through, will support him, support all his efforts towards God. But you have to do it with, if you do it with faith, it will be faster. It doesn't matter if you don't have devotion. But faith in the words of the master. My master has said it, I am doing. Just as the man who was sweeping the front yard day after day after day for 12 years. Why not 12 years? If you have to do your engineering course or biology course or medicine, it takes 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. To become one with God, 12 years is nothing. We have collected stuff over many, many births. And all the experiences, all the sins, and all the help that we have rendered, they've all settled down inside us as vasanas, the latent tendencies. So we have to clear all these latent tendencies and purify our mind, and that's when surrender happens. Once the surrender happens, then samadhi is not far. So what starts as a loud chanting of the mantra would finally take us to that supreme silence that you have to believe. While we chant, we chant loudly together. But slowly, 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 it will shift its center to varied parts of the body, and finally it will land us in that supreme silence. But we have to do it. So I think this is the simplest formula that our Guru Mahatmas have already given us. It's just that perhaps we have not taken it too seriously because we are absorbed. We are very busy with the world, with our own life, with our family and the world. I'm not sure what the reasons are, but once you have this faith and you begin to practice, your own practice will teach you so many things, reveal the subtleties of the Nama chanting. Then, as I said, it's a finished movie, everyone's life. Bhagavan often said, whatever happens, happens only by the will of God. And whatever happens is necessary for our purification, for our spiritual growth. And so we should learn to accept it. So that's another thing. And then another revelation about life is whatever happens at any moment is the best that can happen to you at that moment for your spiritual growth. If you connect it with your spiritual growth, and if you believe in the words of your master, then you will know whatever happens is the best. We go through sufferings, and sufferings are sometimes very sudden. We are not able to accept it. But then it can only mean some past bad karma is taking over. And then everything will happen negatively. Whatever we say will go wrong. And whatever we do will misfire. And we collapse. But then remember that even this is a blessing in disguise. This has come to me not only to get even with the past karma, but also it carries a blessing for me. So you should not stop your faith, you should not stop chanting the name, you should go ahead. When you hold on to the feet of your Guru and chant loudly and pray, you can be sure the tears that you shed were precious. But if you just cry, sit and cry without connecting it with God, all that is a waste. It will invite only further negative activities. It will land you in depression and then medicine. But if you do, you are crying, you are screaming, holding on to the feet of your Guru and chanting his name, you will see how the solution arrives quickly, how you are helped out of your suffering. This is it, Father. We don't have to worry about the world. You know, the world is being run by the one who created it. Bhagavan used to tell me this, Devaki, Father has created this cosmos, Devaki, this world. Father knows what to do, when to do, and how to do it. And Father can change everything overnight if he chooses. So we shall remember that. We have to change ourselves before we try to change others. We cannot change ourselves, it's very difficult. So how can you change the world? How can you change another person? So these are some of the thoughts that we have to bring to our mind and pray to the Guru, chanting his name, and I'm sure there will be light. And then another thing that he used to tell me, whatever is the happening, either in your life or in anybody's life or in the world in general, try to find a higher interpretation. He always said, the higher the interpretation you put upon any happening, the closer you are to God. Or reversely, the closer you are to God, the higher will be your interpretation of any happening, either in your family or outside. The interpretations that come to our mind will be a revelation. It will tell us where we stand, how close we are to God. You know what we say in Hinduism? When there are so many sins in our account, you will not even come across a divine name. And even if you come across a divine name, you will not be able to chant it as long as you have an account of sins. So, when somebody went and asked a Mahatma, if I chant this name, will I get benefit? Will I get Punya? Meaning spiritual merit? Then the Mahatma said, it's because you already have spiritual merit, you have found this name. It's not the reverse. I don't know whether you follow me. Even to get a name from a Guru Mahatma, many sins in your account must have been cleared. So we have come across such a beautiful Nama, such beautiful Mahatmas with whom we have moved personally, we have observed them. We don't lack anything in life. Let the suffering be there. You know, you cannot do anything about it. You see that you don't suffer first. Because most of our suffering, 25% may be real suffering, but 75% we add by our mental suffering. We imagine things. It's imagined suffering. I don't know whether you will agree with me, but this is what I observe. So for this mental suffering, you know, because you imagine, we don't live in the present. This present is now, it's very nice. It's a satsang. But you know, we would be thinking of the past and bringing the past to the present, or we will be thinking of the future and bringing the future to the present. When you bring the past to the present, it will be something which hurt you most. that would go on and on and on in your mind. So you are spoiling the present moment of joy by bringing in some unpleasant memories of the past to the present, and future you do not know. So there will be insecurity, fear, uncertainty, and you'll be bringing it to the present moment. The moment of joy will be spoiled by bringing the future uncertainty to the present. It's because we don't live in the present. Either we live in the past or in the future. Most of our problems are because of that. So just remember the name, just think of the name, replace every thought by the name and see what happens, the magic of the name. If a name can save you from a terrible accident of your life, why cannot it save you from simple problems of life? The thing is, we don't, some question is there that when I get desperate, I call out to Him with my entire being. But as soon as the problem is solved, I feel a secure footing, then once again the forgetfulness comes and I relax. That's very, very natural. Everybody goes through that. It doesn't matter, you know, where you see a child learning to walk, how many times it falls. But every time it falls down, it gets up and tries again. And finally it starts to run. For that matter, any time, you learn driving, you learn cycling. How many times we fall down? It doesn't matter. So everything is in getting up again and trying. 99 times out of 100 you fall down. It doesn't matter if you are able to get up the 100th time and try again. So, as far as I am concerned, our Guru Mahatmas have given us the simplest formula. It is in adopting it, in the practice, we come across problems. Bhagwan said, when Papa Ramdas told him to chant the mantra 24 hours of the day, he said, Devaki, not that this beggar was able to chant all the 24 hours, but this beggar was trying and trying and trying. And then he said aside, Devaki, this trying is tapas. So we should keep on trying and trying and trying. Let us not try to change. You know, they say a situation is developed by God for us to transform. But what we do is, we try to change the situation and remain as we always are. We don't change ourselves, we don't transform, but we try to change the situation. That is why there is lack of transformation. This was said by a Mahatma. Is it true? Some suffering is there, some situation develops, and we want to change that to suit ourselves. Okay, that changes, but we remain as we are. We don't change.